Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XI. I am your host, Bry. And this is my character, Bry. Now, last time I said that I would be going outside into Bastok, but before I do, there's just a couple things I want to cover here. First is the menu system, and it has two pages, accessible by arrow keys. Now, there's a lot of options here, so I'm not going to cover all of them, just the ones that are most important. Equipment. You got 16 equipment spots, and changing equipment's pretty easy. You just, hit enter on the one you want, select the gear you want to change it to, and hit enter again. And then over on the left of your equipment is how your equipment affects your stats with those green letters there. And underneath your equipment is a description of each equipped item. Items. Here you can go in and use any items, but there's a second item menu which is more popularly used. That's this one down here. Same thing, although the one in the upper right here shows all of your inventory, and the one in the lower left just shows usable items. Party, if you want to get into a party, you'd use that. Search, you can search for people, or you can set comments to be seen by people who are searching for you. On the second page, you have missions and quests. Your mission log is divided into a number of sections, and it shows all the missions you've done on for every nation, although as you can see on Bastok, and then for Windurst and San Dioria it says not allowed under current alliance, but I've already completed those, so it doesn't matter. Quests. This is a complete quest log of all of the quests you have not completed but have accepted, and all of the quests you have completed. I've done a lot of them. And then we have macros, which is kind of important. Each character has 4,000 programmable macro keys. Each character has 4,000. They're divided into 20 books, which are named Book 1 through Book 20, although they're renamable, and I renamed them to each job name, being that there are 20 jobs and 20 books. Earlier in Part 1 I was playing Scholar, so I have the Scholar book selected, but being that I've changed to White Mage, I'm going to change my macros so that I'm using my White Mage macros. Now you have your Alt macro set and your Control macro set, and then each of these has 10 pages. So that's 200 per book, and then 20 books per job, 4,000. Now, some people ask, Bry, how do you keep track of equipment for 20 jobs? Well, it's kind of tricky because I don't have enough inventory spots for all of that gear. When you play 20 jobs at once like I do, the amount of equipment and consumables you have to keep hold of is considerable. Now, most people manage it by simply playing just a couple jobs at a time until they max them up and they can get rid of all the gear. How I do it is all the equipment that I'm not using goes off to my alts. In the last video you saw that I had 5 characters. I only play 1. The others pretty much hold all of my extra gear, crafting materials, and incomplete stacks of sellable items. And as I explained in the last video, I took off all of their equipment, being that I needed those inventory spots for other things. To elaborate on that, all these items that you see in green are equipped. They're inventory items, so they count against my inventory total even though I have them equipped. They're still sitting in my inventory. So that's why I got rid of all the gear on the characters I wasn't playing. Now, also to assist me keeping track of which gear goes to which job, one thing that I do is I keep a set of macros handy just to remind myself of what I was last wearing on this job. So there's a little bit there and a little bit there. So I can just look at these macros and it'll tell me what I should be equipped with. So that helps out a lot. So now we're going outside and we're going to the port. Talking is thirsty work. Now my loading screens are normally much shorter. I'm currently uploading a YouTube video, so I have a rather longer wait for all the data to download from Square Enix. So Sally. I must apologize as well for the loud music during the splash screen. It was only 2 minutes in part 1 where the music was kind of drowning me out, but I kind of had couldn't readjust everything just for 2 minutes of video. Now, whenever you change jobs and you go to exit your mod house, it'll ask you if you want to save it as your home point. I already have, so I'm going to select no. Here is the residential area entrance for Port Bastok. There's a person standing in front of me. Let's go. Okay, I've loaded in. There's the entrance. There's a festive Moogle there. That'll be gone after the holiday is over. Little Mithra girl standing there. Now NPCs in this game, they don't really move. There's some of them that are programmed to walk back and forth, but for the most part they just stand there. They handle quests and all that neat stuff. Do some other things. This is the port. The airship docks right over there to my left. It comes from the right there, so this bridge is a drawbridge. It raises when the airship comes through. If you're standing on it, it'll rush you off saying, hey, the airship's coming. Here is where the circus gathers whenever Bastok is in first place. You have the jugglers and the flame eaters and all the neat people there. This is an exit out of town, right in front of me there. This little guy in the chic outfit here will teleport you to Ot Ergon if you've completed a specific quest. I have, but we're not going there yet. Over here we have a home point crystal in blue. If you select that crystal, anytime you die, you'll be teleported back to that crystal. It'll teleport you to whichever one you selected last. So if you, as you're moving into combat areas further and further away from town, you can get people to bind you to spots that are closer to your combat area. Now, these NPCs I'm passing now are merchants. This one sells link shells, which are the I'm sorry, this is Gold World passes. Link shells is somebody else. Link shells are an item which are pretty much handle all the guild interactions in the game. They're equipable out of the main menu here. I have one in my inventory, so I can equip it. And you can have pretty much as many as you want, as many as you're willing to dedicate inventory space to. I personally have like 5 different link shells, so they're each for like special purposes. Some for raiding, some for just shooting the breeze with your friends, whatever. All these different NPCs in the game, they have different functions. Most will give you quests at one time or another. That one that was standing by the door that I looked left to, he'll tell you when the airship is coming. Up there's an inn with some more quest NPCs. We'll skip that. Hey, Steel Bones. It's a Galka. A good view of the whole port.